They don't really like to mention this much, but the WWE Network costs $9.99. This gives you almost spectacularly abysmal pay-per-views designed to bore fans into submission, at least 3 matches per pay-per-view, and oh yeah, Jinder Mahal as WWE Champion. This is the dire creative cost of the platform's low-cost price tier. Still though, it's only a tenner. It could be a lot worse. With that in mind, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture, and these are 10 times you seriously should have asked WWE for refunds. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to stay notified. Ding, ding, done. Number 10. Survivor Series 1999. Card subject to change is, of course, the caveat with which WWE secures itself from doling out refunds. This was an altogether more bending of the rules, though. The company knew in advance that Steve Austin was not physically capable of competing, but used his drawing power to sell the event regardless. Psych! Even worse still, this was but the beginning of the deluge. In order to sell the swerve as the plan, Show won and embarked on a terrible reign, the most memorable moment of which saw Show ride his dead daddy's casket. Lovely. Number 9. In Your House 4, Great White North. 1995 is held aloft as the worst year in wrestling history. Probably because of stuff like this. Oh, and who could forget this classic? Although the winds of change were stirring through the Federation, slowly rendering the prehistoric in-ring style extinct. Nevertheless, Diesel and the British Bulldog were immovable on the night. Quite literally. Watching it back, I genuinely thought the network was buffering in parts because they were so bloody motionless. Vince himself was apoplectic when the match crawled under the porch to die, shouting, "Horrible!" as he flung his headset to the commentary table with far more velocity than the 2 headliners managed throughout the course of 18 profoundly tedious minutes of non-action. Number 8. Backlash 2018. That aforementioned "it's only a tenner" protest in the intro meant nothing when Backlash 2018 faded to black minutes after Roman Reigns faded at the mercy of Samoa Joe's Festival of Chinlocks. In a fatalistic attempt to get Roman over, the agents laid out a purposefully boring match designed to make us cheer whenever Roman Reigns did something. It did not work. This, combined with a second consecutive screwy finish, marring AJ Styles vs Shinsuke Nakamura 3, which literally stipulated nothing of the sort could happen, converged to create WWE's worst and most flagrantly insulting show of the modern era. You can be a real prick at times, can't you, Vince? Number 7. UK pay-per-views, all but one night only. The UK exclusive pay-per-views manifested as a non-canon series of events in which the stars entered bone idle performances. Likely because the heavy drinking roster treated the trips as holidays, equipped with the knowledge that the British fans didn't enter these shows with the expectations of their North American counterparts. That is not the British way, old chap. Ironically, the good pay-per-views were included within the cost of a Sky subscription. We paid £15 extra to watch Rikishi defeat Albert in a Kiss My Ass match. You and me both, Albert. Number 6. December to Dismember. Come on, we all knew this would be on the list. They only advertised 2 matches for the show, for Christ's sake. All we wanted to see was CM Punk crowned as ECW champion. That's not too much, is it? Turns out, yes, it is. Instead, Bobby Lashley left with the gold following a hugely antagonistic layout in which Punk was eliminated first, betraying both the established logic of his character arc and fan sentiment. Don't even get me started on the undercard. I mean, seriously, what the... Number 5. Survivor Series 1991. This existed purely as an experiment to gauge interest in an extended pay-per-view calendar. Consequently, the WWF delivered a finish to the so-called Gravest Challenge between Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker, as a means of setting up a rematch for the imminent This Tuesday in Texas blow-off. on which the program wasn't even blown off. And we didn't even get a match after the incredibly realistic, shocking, and frightening Superstars angle in which Jake Roberts set upon Randy Savage with a snake. Waste of my bloody time. Number 4. Survivor Series 2008. Seriously, what the f*** is it with Survivor Series? It seems Vince hates the concept he described as obsolete in 2010 so much that it makes him spiteful. I will never get the time back that I spent watching one-dimensional WWE heavyweight title challenger Vladimir Kozlov against Triple H. Just think of what I could have done instead. We learned during the show that the announced triple threat challenger Jeff Hardy had been found unconscious in a hotel room. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? And not at all distasteful considering the amount of grisly real-life wrestling discoveries in hotel rooms. Although, considering what WWE have done in the past, that ghoulish opportunism is nothing. Number 3. Battleground 2013. In order to prolong the rivalry between Orton and Bryan, WWE, for the second consecutive pay-per-view, refused to provide fans with a conclusive finish. WWE opted for one of its most rancid go-to tropes, the Big Show turn. Sunrise, sunset. The Authority had used some or other to manipulate the big ironclad contract show to screw Bryan out of the match and screw paying punters out of their money. That'll teach you to expect nice things, eh? Number 2. In Your House, D-Generation X. This was sinfully boring, and it followed the most controversial series of events in company history. It was effectively a one-match show. Just look at the bloody state of that undercard. And that one match was the abbreviated worst match in the pay-per-view series between Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. It was more angle than match, so effectively, this was a no-match show. That is almost impressive. Number 1. WrestleMania 9. I could rant about everything wrong with this show of shows for quite some time, but following Doctor's advice regarding how angry this list is making me, I will remain calm. What really stings about WrestleMania 9 is Hulk Hogan resuming his role as top babyface hero by first racially abusing Yokozuna and then stealing Bret Hart's thunder, framing his moment as if it could not have come any easier for him. The real main event was an absolute show. Bret Hart changed the WWF's in-ring style with his skill and graft in his drive to make the WWF heavyweight title mean something. Hulk Hogan took it to Japan and buried it without once appearing on Raw before dropping it. Ah!
Hello there, you've made it all the way to the end of the video, and as part of my designated 18 hours of community service, I'm here to tell you that we have a number of other channels available for you to subscribe to, as well as other slightly, possibly not related videos for you to watch. So please do one of the things to my left or right, otherwise I have to pick up leaves on the roadside.